Hi, welcome to Gravity this season. My name is Trisha Alker, and I'm here today to introduce you to our soccer program. Now, the objectives that we want to focus on when training for soccer with the GTS, we've got a few very specific ones to the sport. Namely, we really want to increase the muscular strength and power in the lower body and the core. As you can imagine, the skills required in soccer are really going to benefit from stronger legs with more power, more speed, but also that strong core. We're also going to be focusing on our endurance. Soccer is quite an endurance sport because everyone's playing all the time. There's no break for anybody. And then we're going to focus on injury prevention, specifically in joints that are susceptible to injury, such as the knees, by way of strengthening the muscles and tendons and ligaments surrounding those joints. And lastly, by having a total body conditioning program, you're going to ensure that your clients improve their overall strength and coordination and balance, which will transfer out to the field and help them be a better player. So now we're going to look at our workouts. What we've done is we've taken the exercises for the soccer program, and first we've put them into primary and secondary exercises. What you need to understand is primary exercises are going to be those that are directly related to the muscles and the movements that are going to be utilized in soccer. But we do need to keep those secondary exercises in the program as well, which are what they'll give us more of a total body workout to make sure that we're in balance and that we get that total body conditioning. Because remember, total body strength is going to help us improve our performance when we pair it with skill training. So we've got two workouts that we've divided into day one and day two. Okay, we're not going to go into great detail in each of these exercises, but we're just going to go briefly hitting on the points just to help you understand how they apply really to soccer training and conditioning. And also, we're not doing sets and reps as you would as the trainer, but consider for these programs that you would do 3 sets at 15 to 20 reps. Remember, we're talking strength, endurance, power. We're going to be putting it all in together. So I'm going to have Nicole come on in here. She's out running around the field.
Hey, Trish.
Hi, how's
How
it going,
doing?
Nicole? All right, thanks for coming in. Okay, so we're going to start off really focusing on the legs because obviously that's going to be one of our primary areas of the body to focus on for endurance and strength and power. So we're going to start with our basic bilateral squat. A lot of these exercises, by the way, you're going to be familiar with already. Okay, so we're going to move through those and hit on those ones that are very specific. So from the bilateral squat, we also have the variation of the toes out squat. Think about the quadriceps and all of the supporting muscles around the knee, the hamstrings, going all the way up to the glutes. You're going to need these muscles for running, for passing, for kicking. So by simply turning the toes out, we can change the focus of the exercise, working more into the adductors as well. So bilateral squat, toes out squat. Let's go right into a unilateral squat. Because the reality of soccer is that you're typically using one leg or the other at one time, whether you're kicking or you're standing. So with a unilateral squat, you have many variations that you can use. We're going to do just a straight, regular unilateral squat here. Good. Main thing, again, we always want to make sure that the toe's not going past, the knee's not going, don't put the toes past the knee, whatever you do. Just don't let that knee go way out over the toe in a loaded position because our goal is to protect the knee and strengthen those muscles around the knee. Okay. One of the things you might consider very simple variation, let's keep just one foot on the board, Nicole. Okay, we're going to have, but you have to put this one back on for a second. I'm going to have you turn your toe slightly outward, just at a slight angle. Good, and then bring this foot off, and now perform your squat. Good. Very slight angles, but it's going to help us work all the different angles of the knee and also all the different parts of the quadricep. We want to try to hit as many as we can. Another option is to turn the toe inward slightly. So you can get a little bit more into your vastus lateralis, vastus medialis. As much as you can do around that joint and strengthen it and stabilize it, you're going to help cut down on injury. Okay, so that's toes in, toes out. Nice. So again, one leg may be stronger because it's used more often. We want to make sure we balance that, and we can do that through unilateral work. Moving on to plyos. You feel up to it?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plyos give us power. Okay, so we're just going to add in that squat, the plyo squat here. We want to really focus on our ability here to explode out. We want power in the legs. You jump in soccer. People don't think about it, but you jump to head the ball. You jump sometimes to kick the ball, lots of things. There's many things going on there that we need power for. So on our plyos, we've got regular plyos. We can also turn into skiing plyos, so we turn side to side. Now we've got changes moving with the hips, rotating. Torso is stable, hips are rotating. That happens all the time in soccer. So you need to be training your clients with these skills in mind as well. All right, from plyo skiing, we can go to our plyo split squat. This one's really fun because it goes to one leg at a time. Very directly mimics running. Running is such a key point of soccer. I don't see how you could get around it. Typically, they train for running by running, don't they, at practice? But this way, you can develop power and strength to explode off of one leg onto the other. Woo! Again, very important for kicking. All right, one more and then take a little break on that. Good. Nice. So put those power movements in there because you know what? They're also really fun. And these are athletes. They're used to playing. They want to have fun. So from here, let's take it down a notch intensity-wise, and we're going to drop those heels off. And we're going to very specifically focus on the gastrocnemius, okay, on those calf muscles. So we're doing a heel raise, dropping the heels through the rails underneath the glide board there and lifting up and down. Good. So very simple movement. We're doing it bilateral. Nicole could do it one leg at a time if we really want to overload. So think again about your balance. If you're predominantly standing on your left leg to kick with your right leg, that left leg actually gets a lot more work than the right leg for stability and strength. So think about how you could balance out that client. All right, from the heel raise, we're going to change that and go opposite all the way to the top, and we're going to do a toe raise. Because we've got not just the back of the legs, we've got the front of the legs too. We've got to be able to dorsiflex that foot quite often in running and kicking. So by doing a simple toe raise here, we're going to focus on those muscles. Nice. And again, you can alternate and do one at a time, or you can do both together. Good. Okay. Go ahead and put those legs down and sit up. So that's a nice little leg segment for you. You can see, move through real quick. You could run through the whole series and then go back through those legs and go back through the legs to get your 3 sets if you want to do it. Be creative and have fun with it, but that's going to really get you your target on those legs and the lower extremity. Okay, now we're going to work into the upper body a little bit here and the torso. So we're going to start with what we call the pullover tricep extension. A little bit different maybe than what you're used to with the regular tricep extension. You get in the same body position as if you're going to do a pullover, a lat pullover. Okay, first movement is we pull down like a lat pullover and we extend out into tricep extension, and we go back and we extend up. So it's a compound movement now. We're going to get the lats as we pull down, we're going to get the triceps as we extend out. Why would you do this movement? If you think about it, in soccer, there is a lot of going on with overhead movement, with throwing the ball. Even if you don't do throw-ins yourself, you're still going to be using those muscles in your running. More power and strength in the upper body, it's going to help you out. So we're doing this bilateral, you could do it unilateral, you could have fun with it. But predominantly, we're getting those triceps in a little more compound way. Okay, from here, we're going to simply go right into a pullover crunch. Extremely important exercise here to strengthen that core. Think about your basic core training education. What do we say? That the stronger you are here in your core, the more strength and power you're going to have in your extremities. Your legs and your arms need something strong to be pushing against and to be propelling them. So from here, obviously, you might be doing a header or something where you're jumping and you're flexing the spine at the same time. You got to have power. If you see them the way they head the ball, I don't look the best when I do it, but just picture what it looks like. Is they're jumping, they're twisting, they're heading. So we can twist with the pullover crunch. We can add rotation, 1 arm, 2 arms. There's a lot of variation there, okay? But again, this is going to be a great exercise for your soccer players. All right, why don't you lay back there and just take a little break. One thing to note is that Nicole had her legs up in the air. That made, at the end there, that variation, that made it extremely more challenging too. So these are options for you. Go ahead and utilize those. So good, take a little break there and just stretch. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So all I need you to do is actually, you can lower the glide board down and release those handles. Okay, stay right there. I'm going to lift the foot holder. We're going to do a lying leg lift now. Again, focusing on that core strength. So you're going to push the glide board up. Can you reach overhead? You're going to find it. Now you can go there, or you can go to the next one a little higher. Okay, got it? Good. Now, first thing, pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Good. And then very simple, both legs up, and then you're going to roll it back. Good. Now you can bend the knees and be in tabletop position. So basic lying leg lift. Again, really focusing on that strength of the core. So we have a lot of different ways to train the core on the GTS. We can just do regular, or we can come up and roll over to one side, bring it up. Remember, by lengthening the legs, lengthens the lever, gets a lot more challenging. Good. So all these movements are going to put that load on the athlete, maybe in a way they're unfamiliar with, but it's going to be very beneficial. Great. Okay, good. So that's your lying leg lift. If you have other variations you like to do with it, feel free. Okay, from here, we're going to add on a new attachment that you may or may not have used before. Again, if you have not used it before, we've got the cuff for Nicole here. This is going to be the ankle cuff. If you haven't used it before, you need to put it on and play with it a little and practice these exercises first, but then you'll make it available for your clients. It gives us a new way to isolate and train the legs. So from here, we're going to do what we call prone leg extension. So this is very directly going to mimic, good, working the extensors of the knee. Okay, so from here, very simply, Nicole's just going to extend her leg straight and bring it back. It may look simple, but it's actually not. There's a lot of power here, because think about it. Usually, your quads extending the knee are doing it without much load or to kick a ball or something like that. Well, here we've got the weight of gravity pushing down Nicole's body weight in the glide board. So not too many tricky variations here. Just basic leg extension. Good. Okay, one more. And hold that. Nice. Okay, hold in that position.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to have you turn sideways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the glide board for Nicole. So she's going to turn sideways to face the camera. Good. Now we need to go ahead, and if you can extend your leg out straight. Nice. Actually, I'm going to bring you up a little higher and try to take a little tension off this so that I can adjust it. I want to put this leg, or the ankle cuff pulley, now a cable attached to the side, as you're going to see. Okay, you've got the tension now?
Got it.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, extend that leg, bring it down. Good. Okay, so from here, we're going to lower that leg down. So we're going to start in a nice horizontal position to the rest of the body. All we're going to do is raise it up here and then bring it back down, nice and controlled. This is going to be our leg adduction. Great way to isolate the adductors of the thighs. Okay, very important to strengthen all the muscles surrounding the hips and the knees to help us with that joint stability. Okay, very basic hip adduction. Again, working one leg at a time lets us keep balance in the body. So if we have a dominant side, non-dominant, we can address that here. Great, and bring it down. Good. Okay, good. And nice. Go ahead and lower it down. You got it. Okay, good. So we've got one last exercise here on day one that we're going to put in. Very, very important to balance. We've been doing a lot of crunches, a lot of flexion. We need to think about extension. Okay, the back muscles are going to play into, get it, our sport, play into soccer performance just as much as the abs. So from here, Nicole's simply going to leave the glide board in an open position. Her feet are hooked against the base. Her hands are against her forehead, and it's a very simple back extension. Thinking about lengthening, not as much about lifting. So it's very strong here. Now she could add a little rotation, coming up to one side, coming up to the other. So remember, these spinal extensor muscles are so, so crucial in all of our performance and our posture movements that we do in everyday life too, not just soccer. Okay, from here, if you wanted to, you could lengthen the arms for a little longer lever as well. Good. Makes it a little more challenging, or a lot more challenging depending on the person. And last one, and just relax it down. Good. So there you have it. That's day one. Now we're going to show you day two, and that'll give you again a good sample program for what you can do with your soccer players. So here we are on day two with the soccer workout. So Nicole, come on in. Nice. I had her out running around the field a little bit, doing some drills. So you might do that too. Mix your cardio and your strength together. Gives them something fun to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get right into it with our pull-ups here. So again, we're blending our primary and secondary exercises, giving Nicole a total body workout. We're gonna have some things that really emphasize our focus on the lower body and strength. But guess what? We need back strength as well. So we're gonna go here and train the lats with our pull-up, very basic. However, I love the variation that we could do is adding in those plyometrics. Good. So that just makes it fun, gives a little more explosive power to the back muscles. And remember, your back helps you with your running and your speed and your power. When you're cranking up to kick a ball, you still need that strong back. We can also do our variations. Nicole was doing hand variations where you pull up with 2 arms and you lower down with 1 at a time, just to make it interesting. So same workout, lots of ways to do it. From here, I'm gonna have you do your plyo sprint start. Okay, plyo sprint start, we're gonna start without the plyometrics, just to make sure that our client feels comfortable. Good. And if you feel like you want more extension, lowering down, you can always move your knee lower down if you're bottoming out. But that looks good. And then once she's comfortable, she goes right into those plyos. Now what does this do? Her calves are getting engaged. Her quads are firing. This is gonna load her quads, great. And it's this explosive power again that we need. Pushing off to run, pushing off to kick. There's a lot of movement in soccer that this is gonna help. Good, okay, so plyo sprint start. Turning it around, I'm gonna raise these up. And we're gonna lower down for the hamstring curl. Okay. So hamstrings, again, very important running muscles, very important for the power in the legs, for kicking. Good. A nice self-spotting tip I like to teach them, because they're probably not familiar with doing it here, is putting a thumb on the rib cage and their finger down on their hip bone, and that way they can make sure that they're not rotating their pelvis. Good. Another option we can do with this, basic hamstring curl, we can make it where she pulls up with 2 arms. I'm sorry, 2 arms. You distracted me. We can pull out, we can add in the crunch, adding in that crunch perfect to make it a more comprehensive movement, a little more dynamic. Think about running, kicking, twisting. You're rarely standing still on the soccer field. You're always moving. So the more comprehensive strength that you have between your upper body and lower body and torso, the better you're gonna be in your performance. Okay, even with the hamstrings, we can pull up with 2 legs, lower with 1. If we really wanted to make it challenging on her, could take 1 leg out and then add that crunch in again, and you can add rotation with that. So now you're really overloading 1 leg at a time. So you've got a lot of levels here, and these might be your elite athletes, so be prepared to challenge them. Okay, good job, nice. Go ahead and sit on up. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna take off that squat stand. We're gonna go into an overhead press. So if I could hand you that, good. You've got lots of accessories with the GTS, so don't be afraid to use them. It'll give you a bigger variety of exercises, and it doesn't take much time to transition the unit. Hold on just a second. I need to get you off. That would be much too easy. You gotta watch them.
That though.
Yeah, even though they're athletes, you still gotta watch them. They're like, coach isn't here. I'm gonna cruise through this workout. All right, so overhead press. They've probably never done this before if they haven't been on the GTS. They've never done an overhead press in a decline position. So perfect, look at that. Great control, just nice and easy. But we can make it even more dynamic adding in those plyos. So just adding that power movement off the bottom there, perfect. Teach us some nice explosive arm power, which again is gonna help you in a lot of soccer skills. Even though you might think legs, don't forget upper body. We've got 2 arms pushing up, 1 arm lowering down, training that eccentric phase there. Also, whenever we go unilateral, it helps us work on muscular imbalances that our clients might have. Okay, good. So that's the overhead press. Nice. Okay, we're gonna have you come down. So attaching the pulley system, I also wanna make sure that my pin placement is on the right level. Since Nicole's gonna be sitting and not kneeling, we wanna bring it down here. So we're gonna do a seated row to start. So you're gonna face backwards, good. Is this level good for you? Yeah. Okay, good. So sitting up real tall, going into a row. Again, what we talk about is think about comprehensive fitness. Total body conditioning translates to better performance and athleticism on the field. So from this row, we can do many variations. We can go one arm with rotation, bring these obliques into the equation. Good. How many times are they doing that? They're running down the field. They've got to be turning and looking. While they're running, they need to be able to have that control and that strength. So why not train in such a way? Very nice. Okay, bicep curls from here, straight into bicep curls. The biggest challenge, your athletes are probably used to working in the weight room. They may just not be familiar with keeping their arms up and level with the pulley. So think about your line of pull with your clients. Unilateral, bilateral, strong biceps. You got to pump those arms. You know, try running, you pump your arms faster, you're going to run faster. It's weird, but it's true. I swear it's true. So strong arms lead to strong legs. It's true. Okay, nice. So all your variations work there as well. And also they're a lot of fun. So that static equilibrium is a good challenge. You know, give them stuff that is enjoyable and fun, not just hard work. So from there, I'm going to have you stand up. Good. I'm going to lower you just a little bit. And we're going to take the back handle out and going to step over to this side. We have seated torso rotation. Okay, I'm going to move around behind Nicole here for spotting. So seated torso rotation, it's something, again, that we need to think about your core. The stronger your core, the more stable you are here, the stronger you are here, the stronger you'll be in your extremities, your arms and your legs. You need your power to come from somewhere, right? That's going to be our core. So we've got all the variations, incline, we can extend the arms out, we can bring it in close, it's fine. Notice also that Nicole's seated here. If I were to put her in a kneeling position, that would increase the demand on her core stability, and stability, just an incredible amount. So we're not going to show you that version, but think about it again with your elite athletes. You get them into kneeling positions and it changes the whole game. All right, go ahead and stand up. Nice. Taking the other handle, we're going to go into chest press. So this would be considered one of our secondary exercises. However, it's still very crucial to maintain a balanced body and balanced strength between the different muscular systems of the body. Good. So basic chest press, we can make it one arm. I can go right into static equilibrium. We can go up, we can go down. I can get a little more dynamic with her. Yeah. Yeah. Good, nice. All right, put a picture of the coach right here in front. I didn't say that, did I? All right, nice, good job. So chest press, again, don't forget those muscle groups. We need that, it's part of our workout. So incline lunge, reverse lunge, lateral lunge. Are you using those with your other clients? Well, you can guarantee you'd want to use them with the soccer players. So the lunge series is really, really key with soccer because we got to emphasize the legs. I'm going to lower this down a little bit to make it a little more challenging. Let's even go down one more. Nice. Oh, good idea. See, and when your clients are well versed in the GTS, they're going to help you out. So we're going to start with the incline lunge, dropping down, making sure the heel comes off. Now we're going right away into a challenge by Nicole holding the ball. It's not that it's weighted, although you could use a medicine ball, but just by her holding the ball and not having her arms to use for balance, it really puts a new challenge in. And then by moving her arms throughout the movement, changing her center of gravity, putting the arms overhead, adding in these dynamic movements, you're training the body how to have stability and strength in the different muscle groups all the while in motion, which, let's face it, that's the name of the game in soccer, is you're moving constantly. Good. Careful about dropping down too low. They don't have a mirror, remember, so you got to watch that. Good, and come back. With your soccer players, you want to watch extending out too far as well, because if they're not familiar, they may kind of go right into a splits on that. So reverse lunge, let's just go right into the reverse lunge. Okay. Okay?
You want that?
I'm going to hold this for a second, okay? So doing a reverse lunge, straight up, just regular. Good. Again, get them doing this correctly first before you add in any props. Then from here, I can add a ball. Now medicine ball, especially if I was a little farther away, would add a lot more demand. But even just the balance challenge, and I'm just gonna have you hold it.
Okay.
Even just the demand again on the coordination and balance of holding the ball and then bringing it up, and just use that hold with the ball, and you can do the lifts and the rotations, all of that again. So these are props that they're familiar with. Why not introduce them into your workout with the GTS? Good. Let's turn towards me for lateral lunge. The order of these lunges is not so important. Just know that they all are going to give you varying degrees of load onto the quadriceps. Good. Now that one, I'm going to have you watch just how deep you go with your trunk. Good. So focus on sitting back. Perfect. Keeping the load in the heel. Nice. Good. And again here, we could play with the ball. However you want to do it. Now you hold it, and then as you come up, throw it to me. Good. So especially if you had a medicine ball, some of the power behind her throw could be coming from the leg. Good. Nice. So injury prevention of the knee, remember, how do we help protect against that? We strengthen the muscles, tendons, and ligaments all around that joint. The lunge series is going to help us with that. Not to mention the unilateral nature that's so prevalent in soccer playing, running, kicking, that kind of thing. Okay, last exercise. You ready for this, Nicole?
I'm ready.
Yeah. They always like to hear that last exercise, although they don't realize this one's not so easy. So plank position. We're going to go through the variations here. The first variation we're going to start with is very basic. On the knees, make sure they feel comfortable in this position. Glide board is closed, she's on her knees. Next, we'd go right up onto her toes. Good. So glide board is still closed. They can feel comfortable and familiar with this. Now put your knees down. I'm going to have you lower your elbows a little bit down and open up the glide board. Again, now we're opening the glide board, makes it a little less stable on the shoulder joints especially, but still fairly stable because the knees are down. However, coming up onto her toes, now we've really changed the rules, made it a lot more challenging. From here, we have lots of variations to do. We could lift one leg at a time. You can move it out to the side, move it in. You could drop your knees down to the ground and then come back out to your toes. If you're comfortable and familiar with it, you could do a side plank. We're not going to demonstrate that here, but just turning on your side, putting the elbow under the shoulder. You can work simply on just moving the glide board up the rails for a little more shoulder challenge. All the while, this is completely engaged and working hard to stabilize the rest of the body. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. And that power there in your core is going to translate, again, to your running, your kicking, throw-ins, anything like that, goalies, you got to have that strength. So thanks, Nicole, for your help.
Thank you.
That was our day 2 workout, and thanks again for joining us on this with soccer. And I guarantee you, your players are going to have a lot of fun with this GTS workout.